What is a rapid weight loss technique and could it be right for you?
So rapid weight loss techniques, there's about 1 million of these. But I think it's really, really important that you'd only use certain protocols with certain candidates. So we have got rapid weight loss techniques that we've utilised in the past, and it's been great, but it's got to be the right person at the right time, and it's got to be something that's actually effective and not going to have a negative impact on that individual. So rapid weight loss techniques should realistically be monitored very, very closely. It's really important to understand the difference here between weight loss and the goal that most people have got. So what's the goal that most people have got?
Most of the people that I'll speak to normally want to lose weight quite quickly, lose like body fat and change their body composition.
And most of them want more energy, they want to have like greater capability, they want to be physically in a better position, they want to be able to perform better, so like mentally they feel clearer. Whereas a rapid weight loss technique wouldn't necessarily yield those results. It might yield that first result, which is weight loss. So like, what is weight loss? It's obviously the numbers on the scale dropping down. You might feel the difference in your clothes. You might see that your trouser size is shrinking or your dress size is shrinking a little bit. So that's like some positive impacts of weight loss. But weight loss could also go to another extreme where you actually lose in muscle mass. Like losing muscle mass may be counterproductive for your long-term goal of losing that weight. And I'll come back to that in a little bit more detail later on. But what we typically see at the moment is people coming to us having tried things like detox diets or detox juices or cleanses before they start the program. And we've had a conversation. This is a beautiful example of this. There was one of our members that we're supporting at the moment. She would do something called a Clean 9. And I don't know the brand that actually sells that, but it's a Clean 9, which is 9 days of like cleansing and detoxing before every diet that she went on. And she would diet at least 4 times a year. And it would cost her about 120 quid per cleanse. So before she would even get into whatever diet she paid for, she'd spend 120 quid doing this cleanse. So over the year, that's like almost 500 quid that she was just spending on this cleansing. Do you think the person that sold that to her told her that actually, you know, your liver is a really good thing that you've got in your body that helps you detoxify and cleanse? Or you could drink water and that helps you. Or you could make sure that you get enough fiber in your diet and that can have a positive impact on your detoxification pathways. Or do you think that person that sold it said, this is the best way to lose weight? The latter, right? So with that latter one, what did that person have in terms of a motive to sell that? It was financially driven.
Yeah.
And how much experience, how much education, how much awareness and understanding of physiology did that person have?
Probably zero.
Probably
Probably like 1 week, 3-day course actually.
And this is common, and like there's no disrespect to people that are doing those sorts of programs, but it just depends on like what's driving you to do that. If it's financially led, then you're potentially having a negative impact on somebody's long-term health. And if you don't take the time to really understand that, should you be selling products like that? Probably not. The other side of this is like, okay, so let me break down what was in that Clean 9 detox cleansing kind of pack. Like protein, which was probably the best bit, but I'll come on to why that wasn't such a good bit as well. A caffeine-based fat burner, aloe vera, and also a fiber product. So that's 4 things that they had in it. Okay, let's kind of break that down. So the aloe vera was there to help with digestion, and it was helped to boost your immune system. The protein was there to obviously give amino acids and protein because you were going to be eating a lot less food, if any. The caffeine product there was so you've got energy. And the fiber was there because you're eating a lot less kind of fruits and veggies. So you're going to have a very low fiber diet, and you need fiber in your diet if you want to retain some form of digestive health. Okay, let's have a look at another way that we could potentially modify that. So where could you get your protein in? That protein shake that they were giving was about 25 quid for about 300 grams. 25 quid for 300 grams. You could buy off my protein, 2.5 kilos for 45 quid.
Yeah.
It's the same product, but just packaged differently. And they're selling it for like 3 times the amount. It's ridiculous. The caffeine-based fat burner, all it had in it was like caffeine, a bit of green tea, and some B vitamins. Okay, so where could you get that? Caffeine, you could get it from a cup of coffee. The green tea, you need like 400 to 500 milligrams per day for it to be effective, but it didn't even state on the bottle how much was in there. And like B vitamins, you could get from your food, or you could get from just a multivitamin every day. The next thing, fiber, fruits and vegetables. But honestly, just fruits and vegetables. Eat more fruit and vegetables. Base your daily intake on fruits and vegetables, and then build around that things like protein intake and stuff like that. And to have a healthy digestive system, so they give you aloe vera to cleanse the digestive system. Just eat good quality food. Eat high quality food consistently. Make sure you've got a balanced diet. Try and have about 20 to 30 different types of food a week, and that's going to help you with your digestion. So all 4 things that they're providing you, yes, you get a short-term impact because you've massively reduced your calories for that 9 days and you drop X amount of weight on the scales, which is mainly going to be water weight. But for some people that kind of get addicted to that scales and just want to keep seeing it drop, what they will do is they'll massively constrict their calories for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening? They lose their muscle mass. Like your muscle mass is your storage system, your storage mechanism for carbohydrates, which is why people then have this massive fear about carbohydrates, because the moment they introduce that, the weight starts to go up. And why? Because when you store carbs in the muscle, you're holding between 3 to 5 milliliters of water with every gram of carbs that you store.
Yeah.
So you can see why the weight is going to start going up, right? Okay, so you have this aversion now towards carbohydrates. But what happens if you haven't got enough muscle mass? Where do the carbs get stored? Either in your liver or your muscle. So if you're massively under eating and you're losing muscle mass, then you've actually got nowhere to store the carbohydrates. So that's, if you're eating in a calorie surplus, that's going to get turned into subcutaneous fat, so fat under the skin, or the fat will be stored around vital organs. Right now you're starting to see a bit of a dangerous pattern forming here. So if you're doing that every quarter, let's say every 3 months, you're doing one of these detoxes, then you're going into some form of extreme dieting, you're losing muscle mass constantly, you're building a really unhealthy relationship with food, unhealthy relationship with carbs.
It's all just starts to have a domino effect in all areas of your life, really. It's not even just that unhealthy relationship, it's that then lack of energy and actually not looking healthy when people look at you.
Like hair loss,
but
skin.
just, I think people are just so used to like quick, easy, convenient solutions thrown at them, and seeing that 1% or that of people doing well, or seeing the scales drop quickly. But don't really think about the long-term effect.
And we have seen it where members have come to us, they've got hair loss, they've aged quickly, and they don't like it in terms of how their skin's looking now. Like there's so many negative impacts towards it. And I think this is one of the things that I would say is like, there is a good way to do it. There actually is a good way to do it. And we've run this in the past. It's like protein modified sparing fasts, which we've done with some members. We've had to like observe that so closely for that to be successful. And you're looking at maybe 1% of the amount of members that we work with that we would ever even prescribe that to. So if you're gonna do this and you're gonna diet, think about this for the next 10, 15 years, because you might want to diet and look really good for an event. Great. Yeah, you can do that. Go for a really hard diet, put yourself on very low calories, train really, really hard, look great for that event. And then what happens? You put it all back on again. Or you can look at it from a macro perspective and say, that event is on the way to my long-term success. And then that's what gets you the biggest wins in the long term, because then you're more strategic with it. You don't excessively diet, you don't excessively train for it, you build a lifestyle around it, and it makes you feel better in the long run. So that's what we're helping our members with, a long-term solution, not a quick fix.